What's up? This is for April 10th, 2026. I blew the account that I was using, the eval. So, yeah, it wasn't because of the market, it was just because I completely lost control. So, coming into the day, our context was that we had this big 4 hour for value gap. We actually did the exact same thing as yesterday internally at price, where we put in this Asia sort of accumulation range and then took Asia low with London. But this is where I was talking about again. So, in being in a market maker model, we came down, manipulated sell side internally, closed through and disrespected bearish PD array, change in the state, and we're drawing higher. 8:30 opened, and we put in this data high, which was CPI. That we see here. But there was sell side generated with this move, but it was an SMT and it was holding and it was valid. So price was very bullish. So the context was pretty clean. We had the stacked lows, but there was an SMT. Our time frame was bullish, and we were super deep in a premium. There was that data high, but the idea was pretty simple to me. It was, if we're gonna move lower, we're gonna manipulate higher, and then displace against, or sorry, through bullish PD array, showing disrespect of it, and giving us a model supported by multiple time frames showing that we're going to be bearish. So we put in this data high. Let me switch over here. We put in this data high. We are supporting on the 15-minute chart, so we're holding bullish PD array. Which I guess this is a for value gap, what the hell. And then there was one thing that was sort of tricky that I kind of will just go over. So price opens. We take 8:30 on NQ, micro NQ. So here's MES. Here's NQ. The actual NQ contract does not take the news high, but MNQ does. Then we close through the change in the state on ES. And this is where I take my position, because now we have manipulated. So we actually take sell side, we come back to the change in the state, which is where I take my position. My stop is above the inverse, and I'm pretty much targeting this generated sell side. However, we have not disrespected any bullish PD array yet, other than this first presented for value gap. So then we get delivery. Down to a point where I would have wanted to see myself move my stop to break even. but I didn't, and then we got stopped out. So we are respecting the 15-minute for value gap. Price is super bullish on NQ, and even on NQ, it's just a barcode. It's gross. Excuse me. So once this is coming up, which this honestly is like, this is honestly not good. This is pretty, I mean, NQ was not aligned. It was just not a clean model. There wasn't higher time frame supporting it. So the first one, but the refinement was there on the lower time frame, a little bit. So it was like probably a C grading on this one. So this one comes up, and since I'm on the eval, I'm like, whatever, fuck it, like, who cares? For some reason, I don't know why. So now, down into the 15-minute, we have this internal SMT. Changing the state, closing above these down close candles, closing through bearish PD array in the 15-minute for value gap with generated buy side all up here. So basically, as soon as this one gets stopped out, I just go long because I'm like, okay, we're obviously very bullish, and on NQ we have not taken the data high, and I like just go long, and then I'm in and out and in and out. So I should have moved my stop to break even, but I didn't. So I left it running, even though price was clearly holding bullish order flow, and on top of that, ES and NQ were not aligned. ES had the change in the state here. NQ really did not have that at all. That we see here, like, you want to see this above the high, the signature, and then displacement. So the displacement in here, but this move wasn't there. There's no 2022 model. So price was it was confusing, and instead of respecting that, I stayed in, and on top of that, I added more risk. So the real mistake here was not moving, not the break even, but it came next. So it was re-entering on NQ with no refinement model. There's no excuse for that. It's not strategy, it's not execution, it's just straight up lack of control. And that one decision led to more decisions, which just fucking toasted the account. So the truth is, the market did not do this to me. There were quality setups today. This was one when once we end up taking the actual data high on NQ, we see a really clean opportunity there. But they required patience, and I didn't have it. So instead of letting the market come to me, I was sitting there thinking about money, thinking about needing to perform, thinking about needing to be green. And when you're in that state, you just don't read price clearly. So you start forcing trades that don't exist. So the problem, again, is not my strategy. I've shifted from execution to outcome, and I'm trying to make money instead of doing my job. So like, I had a full routine before the session. That was good. I didn't have a confirmed draw. The model was not fully present. I didn't manage my first trade correctly, and I didn't stop after my trade limit. I just kept taking more and more and more. So the result makes a ton of sense. So this is kind of just what blowing an account looks like. It's not one bad trade, it's a series of undisciplined decisions stacked on top of each other. Apart from that, the edge still works. But right now, I'm getting in my own way by forcing trades and forcing outcomes, or chasing outcomes. So moving forward, it's pretty simple. I go back to execution, I wait for full confirmation, and I stop trading when I'm no longer in control. Because I can't control myself. I have no business being in the market if I can't control myself.